These are Mountie stories.
Adversity for student athletes comes in many forms, from battling through injury, to competing in a hostile environment, to dealing with season struggles, or even a global pandemic. How you are able to overcome and adapt to major adversity defines how successful an athlete will be. But what if you have to deal with a type of life-altering adversity? How you respond to that says even more about the type of person you will become. Mansfield University women's soccer athlete Madison Reinert loves soccer ever since she was little and has always found success.
Well, she's been playing since she was 3, and she, of course, played, all through school, but then also played on a couple different travel teams. And honestly, when she was 3, she was one of them kids that was up there scoring goals, and she scored 3 or 4 goals and they put her back on defense because it could be other kids an opportunity. So she fell in love with the sport. She really did. I mean, she lived and breathed soccer.
I started recruiting Madison when, obviously early on in my career here at Mansfield. She was part of the first real recruiting class that I put together. And I was looking to, change the culture. So I was looking for high character young women, high work ethic young women, and obviously women with talent. And her character and her work ethic really stuck out to me.
Reinert's freshman year was adverse like so many others dealing with the unknown of the COVID-19 pandemic.
It was weird to say the least, just because everything was online and COVID shut everything down. But we practiced a lot and did a lot of running and things like that. So it was kind of frustrating though, because we would always scrimmage against each other and we didn't really get to play hard against other teams, so we didn't want to injure each other.
She made a strong bond with her teammates though through that uncertainty.
She was just a happy-go-lucky person, truly super sweet, just wanted to be friends with everyone, was always there for you, truly, just a very good person, always someone I went to, for sure, definitely a very close friend.
The excitement for the upcoming season was palpable to finally get back on the pitch.
I was going really hard in the gym and really hard at the turf every single day, even with work. It was a full 24 hours. I was always going hard. So before everything, I was really hyped for the new season.
But with only a few days before move-in, Maddie's life would forever be altered.
And I just remember laying in my bed and I was trying to curl my fingers, and the one finger, my mom said it was just trigger finger, it would just trigger up whenever I would go up. And that's when I knew something's not right. So then that night when I got my shower, that's when everything kind of hit the fan.
It was a Sunday night. And I have a home office, and I was back there working, and Maddie was in the shower, which is on the first floor, next 2 doors down from where my office is. And my wife was in my office talking to me, and next thing Madison comes to the door at my office just with a towel and crying that she can't feel the side of her face.
She can't talk.
And she couldn't talk right. So my wife took her back into the bathroom and got her dressed, and by that time she couldn't walk anymore. So I went in the bathroom and picked her up and laid her on the sofa, not knowing what was happening. I was asking her questions because she was going to the gym every day. My first thought was somebody slipped her something in her water or her drink at the gym, and I'm asking her who was she talking to, who was around her, and she really couldn't answer any of my questions, and my wife was calling 911 at the time.
The news expectedly sent shock and worry through the team.
I was at work, and when I got the text, I ran to the bathroom because I was I need to relax and calm down because she was someone super close to me. And I work with my dad, so I went right to my dad too. I went to the bathroom and regrouped and went to my dad, and I told him, and he was it's okay, take the time you need. And I told my boss and everything, and I was scared, truly scared. And then we didn't get very many updates, and then I was just well, I have to just live with it right now. And
And I just remember the world standing still. As a coach, you don't want anything to happen to your people, and to hear that a young woman, a healthy, physically healthy, mentally healthy young woman has a stroke, it really stops the world.
And for Audra and Steve Reinert, they were going through a nightmare.
It was difficult. I mean, we didn't know where we were going. We didn't know what the outcome was going to be. That first day, well, actually, it was probably 1 o'clock in the morning when we got to the hospital, and doctors, or the next morning, we didn't sleep for probably 24 hours. The next morning, the doctors were telling us that she's going to have to learn how to walk and talk again, which was hard to hear. We weren't sure what the outcome was going to be, and then on that next day, or Monday, she ended up having a couple seizures, and it was just the two of us that were in the room with her. And it was, at that point, we really didn't know where we were going.
Those first couple days were challenging for Madison as she sat in the hospital.
Well, right as everything was happening, I immediately thought, am I ever going to be able to play soccer again? That was the first thing that came to my mind. What if I have to cut off my leg and my arm because I couldn't feel it? How am I going to be a double amputee? How is that going to work? So I know in the hospital, a lot of it I don't remember well because I was in and out of consciousness a lot. But those times I was I thought I was gonna die. I really thought I was gonna die. And the first few days I came to terms with dying. I was okay with dying, which it's really weird to say, but I really came to terms with it. If this is gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And if God or the higher power wants me to keep living, he's gonna do that for me. So really, it wasn't more so now the soccer thought, it was more am I gonna live? Am I gonna be able to get through this?
As Madison began her recovery process, her soccer family was beginning to grieve with one another and support one another.
Obviously, a bit of a somber mood to move in, and after 2 years of not being able to play, we're hyped up to play, and so there's that weird juxtaposition of we're all excited because yes, it's preseason, but hanging over top of us is one of our sisters is, in the hospital with a stroke, and we don't know if she'll walk again, if she'll talk again, what her long-term health is. And so you address it straight on and you say, listen, if you need to cry, your teammates are here to cry with you, to be a shore to lean on. I was really open with my emotions and said, listen, I'm scared, I'm sad, I'm worried, so don't feel like you can't have those same emotions.
I sent her a text just for when she could look at her phone. And I was just trying to stay as calm as possible, she's gonna be fine, everything's okay. But the support of your teammates was the most important thing through that.
The process was very challenging for Madison, but the recovery was going.
And then she could actually lift her arm by Wednesday afternoon. Those little things it was huge.
You get excited, when you have a little child who's just learning how to walk, how you get so excited because they took their first step. It was almost that kind of thing all over again.
I walked around my room the first day, and then the second day they took me down the hallway, and I said I'm okay to keep going. So they took me around the whole place, and they were it was just really fast.
The team made it known that Madison was on their mind.
Yeah, they were really supportive and was just hoping I would get better to just walk and be functioning again. They weren't necessarily so concerned about the soccer part, but they did obviously want me to come back and play. So a lot of them reached out a lot of the time.
She began the road to recovery. The team dedicated that year to her.
More as Madison Reinert had a bit of a medical emergency right before preseason. She's not able to be with us, so I just want to say I'm thinking of you. We miss you. We can't wait to have you this spring semester, and we're playing for you this semester. Madison spiritually led us. She spiritually led us. We fed off her improvement, and then fast forward to the middle of the season, maybe 2/3 through the season, when she was healthy enough to be able to visit. And she, again, the Reinerts had been in contact with me. I'd been talking to Madison a bit. She wanted to come up and visit for a Saturday, but she didn't want the team to know. And so I think it was a Friday night maybe, and then into the Saturday game the next day. And like Madison just starts walking up the sideline, or up the side of the field at practice, at near the end of practice, and the girls lost it. And it's a moment that will always stay with me. Like I was waiting for it. It's like it's the end of practice, and we're like going through the motions. I'm waiting for Madison to get out of the car and start walking up. And I just loved it. She came walking through the fence and walking up the grass, and the women just started running towards her. And I'm like, that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about.
Her recovery increased to the point where she could start training again.
That was her motivation, soccer. That's what made her get up and do, the physical therapy and everything, was soccer. So, I mean, we encouraged her. I was scared for her to play soccer again, knowing her condition that she was in, but.
We still are scared.
Yeah, I still am.
It was, it was that drive that she had. It was, along with an incredible physical therapist that she had at Hershey. I don't know if I would say she pushed her, but like she really worked with her, and she was unbelievable.
I was really different from my parents. When they told me I could do that, I was like, okay, let me start running now. And my parents were like, whoa, 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 you need to take everything one step at a time. And like, I remember first I walked around the track like 2 times because my dad was like, you're not allowed to run yet, so we're just gonna take things slow. And like, that was the first time that it really hit me, man, maybe I do need to take things slow, because I walked those 2 laps and was out of breath, my heart rate shot up, like it was a lot on my, like physically on my body.
I, in the back of my head, knew she was gonna be fine because she's one of the strongest people I know. She's been through so much, and in the back of my head, I was like, if anybody's gonna beat this, it's her. If anybody's gonna come back, it's her for sure. So when I was getting that news, I was like, I knew it. Like, she's gonna be great. She's gonna come back and play. Like, we're gonna have a great semester together when she comes back. So I was super positive the whole time.
Madison was also able to go to classes for the spring semester. She thanks the Mansfield University faculty for being so supportive.
My advisor, I never really got to like have a connection with her because of COVID year and everything. So she was really supportive in me and helping me, giving me the extra time when I needed it, and helping me through everything, even with my other classes. And all my professors were really knew what was going on and really supportive and helping me out when I needed the extra help because my brain wasn't working in an area.
When we got the green light that she could come back for classes, I was just so thankful, because that meant she was on track to graduate with a degree and to attack her dreams that way. And then being able to play soccer when she got cleared for that was just icing on the cake.
Madison was cleared to be able to start playing with her team, and she wanted to compete.
It was very emotional because the first day of preseason was the 1-year mark of my stroke. It was the day of. So that was super emotional for me to see that come full circle and all my hard work just show. And that was the day we did our fitness test, which I was very nervous about because I didn't know if I'd be able to go and do well on it, because I was doing chunks of it over the summer, but I couldn't do a full set without, getting really my heart racing and all that stuff. So, and I did, when we did it's called the yo-yo test. So when I did the yo-yo test, I did better than I expected, and I just got very emotional, and everybody came up to me and was like, you're doing amazing, and yada yada. It was just really emotional.
Well, listen, I mean, the women will say this is probably one of my biggest negatives, but I'm overly protective. I'm overly protective about everything, and so my first thought was, I cannot get her hurt. I cannot get her hurt. I can't allow something to happen to her that affects her brain or makes her have another stroke. I mean, I just, that's where I went, because she overcomes this, and I'm thinking, I cannot let her get hurt. And of course, she's, rightfully so, she's like, Coach, let me go, let me go.
Her teammates noticed that she did not want anyone to treat her with kid gloves.
She didn't want anybody to treat her that way. And I knew that. I didn't even talk to her about it because I knew she was going to jump back into it as hard as she could from the beginning, because that's just the type of person she is. So we all just went right back into it. And I think there were a few who were like, skeptical and worried, but I think for the most part we treated her like she was just coming back in as the same Maddie she was, because she was, and she made that known.
And welcome on in. This is Mansfield University Athletics Action. We are back. It is the fall, and the first one here at the docket is the Mansfield Women's Soccer Team. Hello, everybody. I'm Drew Patrick. Joining me is Nate Prouty. August 28th, 2022. The first game of the season. Coach Shaffer puts in a sub, and it's Madison Reinert.
So the nervousness really took over, but I was also extremely excited when he called my name to put me in, because I was like, this is like the first time in so long I get to touch a ball and get to go against people that aren't my teammates. It was just, I was very excited and very grateful for the opportunity.
You know, I mean, this is what she worked to do. You know, what we spent an unbelievable amount of time in her, whatever, 15 years or 16 years before that, you know, again, for that opportunity to step on that collegiate soccer field. I mean, it was exciting, again, nerve-wracking. You know, is she going to fall? Is, you know, just nerve-wracking, you know, and she wasn't 100%. You know, honestly, today, I still don't think that she's 100%. You know, she still is on some medications, but yeah, I mean, it was.
Coach Shaffer said she earned this opportunity.
She had a great preseason, so it was like, listen, she earned it. She's competing for time. You know, you're a player, Madison. Go in there and do your thing.
And then, in the 65th minute, like it's right out of a storybook, Madison delivered. Trying to weave through, Neal has it. Reinert, turnaround shot. Oh, it is good. A little double doink action, and that one's gonna go in. Missed last year after suffering a stroke, and now in her first game back just scored a goal.
Well, I just remember the ball popped out, and I remember seeing my teammate Q on the ground, and I was just praying. I was like, don't call this a PK, because I'm gonna take this shot, and I hope it goes in, but I was like, please don't call it. And so I just took the shot, and it went in, and I was shocked and excited, and it was just crazy. And then afterwards, I really got to like sit down and process what all happened and what all I've been through. And that made me really emotional. It made my parents emotional, it made my boyfriend emotional. It was just a lot of emotions.
I shed a tear. I was on the sideline when it happened. My immediate reaction was like jumping around, screaming for her, and then I was like, wow, like this is emotional. Like I was speechless. It was an incredible moment. The goal itself was barred down, like a great shot, and we were ecstatic for her.
It was just pure emotion. Yeah. You know, I'm tearing up now talking about it. You know, the whole thing is very, very emotional for us. You know, it's yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. You know, yeah. I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? You know, not only is this her, you know, coming back a year after her stroke, it's her first collegiate game ever. You know, her first collegiate game ever, and like, you know, the replay. You know, I probably watched the replay 100 times, and your call was awesome. You know what I mean? And again, it brought grown men to tears.
Madison embraces the journey she went on and the recovery that she is still dealing with today.
It really made me take a step back and look at my life and look at areas where I needed to fix myself and make myself a better person. And I know since I wasn't able to come back for the fall semester, I did a lot of self-healing and self-journey. Like I went through a self-journey, and I would meditate every day. I would read like 10 pages in a book every day. I went through that process, and it just made me really grateful to like be here today and to have all my limbs working perfectly fine and just to be able to run again. It just made me really grateful.
She continues to be an inspiration to her teammates and many others.
Knowing that she came back from that was like, it's an emotional, incredible, inspiring story. And to know somebody that close who fought through that adversity, like, I just know now that you can beat anything, and you should try as hard as you can in anything to be the best you can, because she does daily. Like, that girl goes nonstop between, she goes to the gym before classes, she goes to classes all day, she like goes to soccer afterwards. Like she doesn't back down to anything, and it's really inspiring to be that close to someone like that.
Madison will be able to do great and will accomplish whatever she wants in life, personally and professionally, because she came through this. And I would just encourage anyone who watches this special on Madison's journey to realize that if you put your mind to something, you can accomplish it.
Just don't ever take anything for granted.
Yeah.
You know, it can be wiped away just like that. You know, like, you know, if somebody would have told us, like in that Sunday night or Monday, that a year later, you know, we would be standing on the sidelines of a soccer field again, I wouldn't have believed him. You know what I mean? And never would have believed him. I mean, I sent stuff to her doctors out there after the fact, and they were just, you know, they were ecstatic, you know, for what she accomplished, you know, just getting back to that point. And again, I mean, a lot of it has to do with her, you know. It's if she, you know, the doctors actually had told us if she wouldn't have been in the kind of shape she was, you know, it would have been a lot more difficult to recover as quickly as she did. But yeah, just don't ever take anything for granted.
Yeah, be thankful. Be thankful for everything you have.
Back in the middle, trying to weave through. Neva has it. Reinert, turnaround shot. Oh, is good!